Hello everybody and welcome to the Cone Racing League. We are here today for Tier 2 Round 10 at the Miami circuit. Not every driver's favourite, but we are here nonetheless racing. I think 16 drivers currently. I believe a few are going to arrive during quali, so hopefully a bit more to bolster up the grid. But I am alone in the commentary box for today, so you're just stuck just hearing the sound of my voice. Just here we go with short quali and then 50% race. See, as expected, most people using soft tyre. See, he's going out for a banker nice and early, follow them around, get an idea of what kind of target lap times drivers are aiming for, and then see how the session goes. Some good overtaking opportunities here. Three DRS zones, two of which are good for overtaking, the other one of which is good for an absolute send. It should be a very good race indeed. So here we go. Criko's second one out on track. Greaves going to be the first man out on track. We'll follow him around his outlap. See how he does. Warming up his tyres at the moment. Through his first twisted section. Taking it nice and slow for the moment, of course. Outlap, no need to push. Very hard to follow through here sometimes. The curves put you into a spin. If you get side by side with someone, you have to be very, very careful. Won't see too many overtakes there, but I'm sure a few opportunistic lap 1 drivers. It's Criko looking to get past, so he will be our first driver to set quality lap. We're also doing the same trick of heating his tyres, of course, practically mandatory with the way. Rain in 15 minutes according to Not Jack. Okay. That should certainly spice things up. So rain due presumably 15 minutes into the race and not into qualifying, as perfectly blue skies and qualifying only 18 minutes anyway. There's this section here, clattering over those curves. A lot of drivers struggle with that, hitting the perfect line, following people under pressure. Gets very, very awkward. So then the best overtaking opportunity going into the last proper corner, the last braking zone on the track. The drivers are burning their ERS, using their DRS, getting as much slipstream as they can down here. Criko now preparing himself to start his first lap in qualifying, a bank lap to start him off. See how he can do. Man currently sits in P7 in the championship. Yeah, but has shown some very nice pace in the past. So here we go, slightly missing the first apex, but coming through these sweeping corners. Have to be so careful with when to get the throttle. I think a little bit offline here, so I had to get on later than you would have possibly liked through these S's. Now using the curbs a little bit, not too much. It really does feel like a banker and not like he's pushing his car to its absolute limit. That he's got under so much control that he makes it look nice and easy. Of course, purple sectors for the first man out on track. DRS down here. Decent overtaking opportunity, one of the two main ones. You've got to be brave with your line, brave with the braking. Fairly easy though to compromise your entrance, and if you get through, block them on exit through into this middle sector. Then on to the back straight. So you start the final sector. So behind him, I think, didn't pick up on whether or not it was Kyle or Tope behind. I will assume it is Tope based on when drivers normally go out on track. Tope, one of our two main runners for the championship at the moment, just sitting 2 points behind Strange in the Red Bull. So we'll see how that battle goes. As there we go, 27.2 to start us out. Tope is the next man, and Tope was set at 27.6. Not the strongest time in the world from him. Not the weakest either. See how he manages. I have no idea. There we go. Legend next man. He's a little bit slower. 27.3 AlphaTauri. Suspect Greaves next. It's Greaves 27.8 right in amongst them. Delano, one of the 3 Irishmen on the grid, 27.9. Last week we had 3 Irish drivers and they were last, second last and third last. So They'll be hoping for a bit of redemption as his teammate and championship leader Strange puts himself up to the top of the timing board. Oh, sorry, second on the timing board. Kryko's first lap still the strongest. Carl Vandenberg though going 27.4. Did I just make up a middle syllable? Maybe. As Hobbsy puts himself P3 in that Ferrari teammate though has invalidated. Tango though 27.7, again right in amongst everyone in the 27 so far. No one outside of them whatsoever. Frow'll soon come into the line. Frowl 28.3. I said no one outside the 27s as it happens. So TGT James here. This is his first race in CRL. Joined, I think, not even a week ago. Be interested to see how he does, if he can bring the Irish the redemption they want after what happened last week, although going wide there off the track. And here we go, fairly clear track ahead of him, hopefully not too much traffic. Section, gotta be careful on the curbs. So he's doing a pretty good job at using them though, clattering over the curbs as you see in F1. Now yellow flag ahead, that's just slow drivers. Temporarily purple sector there. Is this his teammate giving him a little bit of slipstream? I think, I'm not sure if that was deliberate or not by Greaves, but it happened nonetheless for part of the straight. Here we go, round in the last bend now, and let's see what he can do. How fast he is compared to our usual CRL Tier 2 drivers. He's going to be close, he's going to be among them. P7 for him, right ahead of his teammate, 11 thousandths ahead of his teammate in fact. This Jet had a few penalties post-race after last time. Actually Mookie, I think another one fairly new to Tier 2 and going very, very deep there. Struggling with his braking zone. Not entirely sure how he managed that so much, but yeah, it just seems to be really struggling with the car here. I don't know if he doesn't have a setup or what, but not getting along with this car. Maybe it's the tyres, maybe it's something else, but either way, not working all that well for him. So we just had their Jet go up to P6. Man who had appeared to have a very strong race last time. It was actually Mookie preparing his laps, and we will be going for it this lap I think. Oh, hello, that's not quite what he wanted, and neither is that, and now he's gone past the pit entry. There we go. Slightly illegal pit entrance, but I don't think that stewards tend to mind if it's in qualifying too much. We'll then go on board with Pan as, oh no, too slow for that. Pan up into P8 in that Alpine. Another 27.85 tenths ahead of James. I think everyone at the moment is on an in-lap or an out-lap. So first driver, I think, will be whichever Ferrari is coming towards the line. That'll be Nolsey. Nolsey down in P15, one of two drivers yet to set a lap here. Now, it is possible that some of the drivers have gone for a wet setup, given we were told there'll be rain 15 minutes into the race. I'll see if that ends up happening or not. Nolsey here, using the circuit, seeming very under control, decent level of pushing. Still 9 minutes left on the clock as Pan has retired from the session, and that is up the road. Let's see if we can see that from Hobbs's perspective here. It's at this cornery section, you can see there on the inside. Which tyre is that that's gone? Couldn't quite see there. But that is Pan out of the qualifying session. So interesting that's happened there. I suspect that was a tyre clipped on the inside wall, bounced off to the outside, the front left tyre lost, and thus the Alpine out of the session. So Nolsey now, see how he can do. Just got one more braking zone to do, and then coming round final two corners flat, bit more ERS left to burn. towards the line. He is going to set a 1:27.8 further down in the order, but yet still only 6/10 behind here. Mookie is now going for an attempt. Oh no, he hasn't got around to his lap yet. Mookie is running a bit short on time after having an extra outlap to warm up and then going for a spin right at the end of that. Obviously, likely won't be pushed again. Right, let's find more drivers looking for times. Actually, no, Hobbsy will be pushing, won't he? My mistake there. So Hobbsy, Purple Model 6 didn't see what the plus minus was, but should be an improvement third, and it certainly feels like he was flying and briefly hopped aboard with him earlier. The driver P4 in the championship, a fair way away from the top two, and a little bit of a getaway, but still very much in contention for third in the title. And actually with 6 rounds left to go, oh hang on a second, early on the power there, that'll ruin his lap. I suspect going to abort that lap now. No point continuing that one. See Carl is up on his lap, no improvement for him. Yet, how about Kryker? Can he further extend the gap he has? Neither Hobbsy or Carl in second and third will be improving. Kryker going to make that gap even bigger. I mean, when you look at the gap between 4th and 14th, that is less than 4/10 between 11 drivers. Kryker is nearly a 10th green. So showing his raw pace. Struggled some of the previous races, been very, very good in others. But deciding he wants to go back on form. Wants to show what he is capable of. Right, here we go. How much improvement is he going to get? Did he have a good last sector to the line? It is a 27.1. It is just over a 10th of improvement. That is an even bigger gap to all the drivers behind him. So Mookie, last man to set a lap this session. To set a first lap this session. How is he going to do? Struggling again. Doesn't seem to get on with the car anytime I hop on board with him. Broke too late on the power too early there. Really, really struggling with the car. It's 28.9, a long way off, back of the fields. Farrell a little bit of improvement. What's that? Nearly 4/10. 4/10 is only just putting him on to back of the rest of the pack. See what he can manage in the final sector. Is that where he made a mistake last time? Looks to be good, well taken corner. Nowhere near as deep as his teammate. Currently Aston Martin's both at the back, and that is still the case. Actually lost a bit of time in the last sector. 28.0, pulls himself onto the back, but not able to improve too much. James though, ooh, went from 3/10 green, and then on the power again too early in that last corner. A lot of drivers pushing there. 5 minutes left on the clock, forced to come back into the pits. And that one looking to put him up into 5th, maybe even 4th place. Greaves has had an invalidation. Strange, I've missed it, but he set a 27.3. Kryko in lap. See, is anyone on a lap at the moment? Jet is Jet 2/10 so far. Brings it up to 3, nearly 4/10 and up into P3. Although 7/10 shy of Strange, for sure that'll be irking him just a little bit. So, who are we looking at here? Tope on an outlap, soon to be starting his lap. This man wants to beat Strange, he wants to take the championship lead. 2 points back off the Red Bull. Coming off the back of a win last week. Oh no, he did an outlap and came straight into an in-lap. So not quite sure what that one was about. See, have we got any drivers on the move apart from Jet, all firmly in the pits at the moment? Oh, Jet, hang on, nearly going into the wall there. Right, there we go. Delano looking to leave the garage soon, as is Hobbsy. I think it's Delano first. So yeah, Hobbsy would pulling out a little bit behind him. So he'll be the first man to go on to his last flying lap. Currently P12 needs to find a fair chunk of time. And Aston Martin behind him. And though I said Aston Martin does not look like he wants to stay behind him. Which was that? Mookie behind him. So we'll see. I think Mookie's going to try and pass on one of the straights. Actually just goes around the outside straight away. Doesn't want dirty air, not warming his tyres quite as much, slowing down. But he's going to have the clean air because of it. So Mookie, Delano, Hobbsy. Then he's going to be Tango. Those are the first 4 out on track. Should be the first 4 setting their flying laps. We'll see how they manage. So actually, Mookie commented in the Tier 2 paddock, "This is my worst track by a country mile." Not a surprise, did not seem to know the braking points whatsoever, which I assume then not a player who uses the racing line even in the corners would have done significantly better than he did there. Though with the rain coming in, anyone stands a chance. Of course, a track like Miami, close walls, always a risk of safety car. So here we go now, around in the final corner to start what will likely be his last flying lap. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Theoretically his time for 2. This is the one he has to make count. This is the one he has to really nail. And already struggling into the first corner. Sweeping through this first section. As he goes flying past the fake marina. First sector, how much has he improved? Half a tenth, really not enough. Although I think his mistakes were in the later ones. So we'll see how he does with this braking zone. Can he get more comfortable here? Can he time it better? He's gone deep. Not too deep, but deep enough. He's going to lose himself a tenth or 2 there. Through the curb section, really clattering over the curbs there. Almost cutting the inside. Goes deep here into the wall, and again more time going to be lost. Really struggling, only 1.3 tenths up now. That is not enough for anything other than dead last. The last of the drivers soon to be starting their last flying lap. Nolsey crossing the line with barely 8 seconds to go. So Mookie again a bit of trouble there, but better than last time. What can he do? How much time has he found? 4 tenths, but still dead last. Delano up into P7. Tango, the next man, he's got a good amount of time. And there we go, up into P2 for Tango. Going to be pretty happy with that one, a 27.2. Hobbsy, not good in the first 2 sectors. Did he find more time in the third? Only a little bit up. Actually, same position, just gained a little bit of time over what he had before. So, championship leader Strange, he's the next man. He wanted to beat Tope, but wanted to do as good as he can against Tope here. Very strong in the first 2 sectors. The first man in the 26s, there we go, a 26.9 for him. Carl coming across the line with an invalidated lap time. Is this AJ Wuhan next man? 27.4 up to P6. I think he'll be fairly happy with that one. Kryko then on to pole, a 26.8. The man absolutely flying. How about Legend then? Legend only enough for P8. Jets had a spin in the last sector. We've got Greaves coming soon. Not sure he's going to improve here. No improvement for him. James into the pit. Hope then. P2 in the championship. P5 in the qualifying session. Jet, of course, going slow. Foul unable to improve. And I think that concludes. No, hang on. Who was that just across the line? Was it Nolsey up into P8 there right at the end? So getting himself into the top 10. But what close battle at the end. Kryko setting a flying time, strangely anywhere near to him. You can see how close that middle group of drivers are there. P5 right the way down to P11, barely a tenth separating them. Crazy close in the midfield. But it is pole for Kryko at Miami Tier 2. So, run down all the order. German's doing very well here. German front row lockout. Kryko alongside Strange. And Tango P3, Jet P4, despite not even setting good last lap here. Taupe P5, Carl P6, Alfa Romeo locking out the third row. AJ Wuhan, Knowles, Greaves and Legend finishing out the top 10. Then Hobbsy, Delano, Pan, James, Farrell and Mookie. The Irish again seem to be struggling in Tier 2. Yeah, it sounds like Jet really struggled with that lap. And actually Farrell reckons he blocked him, so I do wonder if the stewards are going to have a look at what happened there, but soon the race will be underway. So here we go at Miami. We've been warned, rain 15 minutes in, don't know the accuracy of what that's going to be. But we'll see how that affects our drivers, if the setups are going to come alive once the rain kicks in, or if some of them have risked using the dry setup for the track position. Choosing their strategies, choosing what they're going to do. Do you go on mediums and assume they'll last you to the rain? Do you go on the softs and assume it'll last you till the rain comes, so you can stick on a set of inters? Or do you do the usual hard medium? Works quite nicely here, or anywhere for that matter. Seems to be the strong suit of F123. But we've got our championship leaders starting on the front row in P2. His main rival Taupe down in P5, I believe it was. And as always with a track that is, not sure if this counts as a street circuit, but a track with walls close to the track, always a higher risk of DNFs, higher risk of front wings being lost. But here we go, front two cars look to be on the hard tyres, 5 lights are up and away we go. So I know Strange is on the medium and actually has the traction down into turn 1. You can see behind the two Mercedes side by side. Jet getting ahead of Tango in the end. Kryko maintaining the lead. Actually Tango being shuffled down to 5th position now. Falling further down, the top two pulling away a little bit side by side for Tango and AJ Wuhan in the end. Tango running deep but holding on to that position, not seeing any collisions just yet, but fair bit of squabbling going on. Pan on the inside of Carl. Carl on the mediums. All getting in the end. Hang on, 3 wide here for a moment. In the end, the Alfa Romeo, no, Hobbsy's hungry. He wants to try and get past. He's going to have the outside line going into this braking zone. See what he can do here alongside Pan, and does cut ahead, though Carl remaining ahead of him. They're 2 by 2. Greaves and Carl ahead. Pan and Hobbsy here. This is not a section to go 2 by 2, but they're trying it nonetheless. Contact and a spinner. That's Carl round. That's contact with, I've forgotten which car it was. I think it was now I'm blanking. Contact happened. Carl got span round, and here we go. Greaves, huge run on Hobbsy down this last main straight up the inside. What can he do? Hobbsy on the outside. Medium is perhaps a little bit more traction. In the end, Hobbsy does come out on top of that battle for the moment. Then we had a change in the lead. Strange got ahead of Kryko, but Kryko managing to get it back Strange going to want to make the most of his mediums while they're still in their prime. They're still faster than the hards. This isn't really the place to catch another car though. It's a yellow flag further down the order. And is that an Aston Martin driving backwards? I'm not sure. Carl and Mookie. No, both dots now moving forward. Mookie, I think, having trouble there. Not entirely sure what that was. A Strange gets through to the lead of the race, but Kryko, huge amount of overspeed, looking to get him back around the outside as Carl has gone off again. And Kryko not giving up on these hard tyres, wanted to make the most of them, but I think going to have to settle in behind here. She's doing a very nice job of holding it around the outside. Soon going to remain the outside, but no, he's done it. Very, very nice driving by Carl. Almost been pushed through by Strange, who the two drivers behind though fighting very heavily. Jed and Tope giving the front two a little bit of leeway. It's Foul, the one man on softs after his struggles in qualifying. AJ getting past, as does Tango. Tango getting two positions here. Can he maintain them up the inside? Yes, he can in the end. Hobbsy fastest lap from P7 as goes deep does Tango. Falling down, challenged by his teammate now. Backing up a lot of the other drivers here. Hobbsy looking to go for a move, not quite going to happen. The three of them here very, very close. The two Mercedes, the Ferrari and the Alpine. Obviously the advantage of tyres for the moment. But DRS is going to kick in from this lap. Let's see how that comes into play. Actually, it comes into play for a lead change. Strange gets through to the front. Takes the lead back. Oh, we've got a spinner there who didn't ghost. That is a shame for Pan. That is even more of a shame for Delano. Crashed into the car. It was sideways and contacts their Pan into James. Questionable driving there by Pan. Not quite sure what the Alpine's doing. In the end, settling into P13. Front two. That gap has drastically increased. I wonder if Kryko had a little bit of a problem. Still, the DRS to aid him. As James ascends up the inside, and he makes that one stick beautifully. Legend into the pits. Now I wonder if that's front wing damage. Cannot see. Pack now starting to spread out a little bit more. Though having said that, still plenty of battles going on. Strange has pulled away from Kryko. Battle for third going on, which is itself within DRS range of Kryko in second. Tope holding on, not wanting to let his championship rival pull away too much. But here we go, a challenge from AJ on the outside. Heading down now towards the sharp corner. And getting the move completed, very nicely done by him. Battling going on further down the order, Nolsey and Pan. Pan, who I thought had front wing damage, but I guess not so much. Side by side here, as Greaves picking up 3 seconds for time penalties, warnings at these very corners. And Kryko, what has happened to him? A poor exit, it seems. This caused him to lose 2 positions, but there's now himself challenging from behind. They got a bit of side by side going on here. The order, a lot of drivers very slow into the corner because there's just not enough room for that many cars to go into one place. This battle, a 3-way battle, sorry, a 4-way, no 5-way battle for P3 now. Excuse my shoddy maths. Some Mercedes ahead going for a move on Kryko. Tango not getting it complete. Hobbsy looking to take advantage of that. But in the end, not going to happen. Just settling behind on his medium tyre. As of yet, no safety cars. We've had a few yellow flags from collisions. few drivers having to pit for new front wings. But I think this is where the overtake is going to happen. Jet on Tope. Tope not defended by DRS of the car ahead. And actually Jet not going for the move, interestingly. Happy to settle in behind for the moment, not choosing to fight at all. I wonder if that's to catch up with the top two or if that's to try and pull away from the two behind. Either way, some tactical racing by him. I think he will go for the move down this back straight though. The longer DRS, the more easy to confirm move. See what happens. A little bit of ERS burn. It's now, yeah, nice and cleanly through up the inside. And that is smart racing by the Mercedes driver, choosing when to go for his moves, and that is Jet up into P3. It's behind Tango Hobbsy side by side. Tango with the inside, going to turn into the outside when they get down towards turn 1. Is he enough ahead? He is enough ahead to pull across. Hobbsy not wanting to give it up too much, as all Tango's had a big off. Big moment, very, very deep there. It's him down a few positions. Hobbs will be happy, one less car out the way. I think Tango just had a snap of oversteer, had to catch it and went off the track because of that. And there we go, that's our first DNF of the race. That is Mookie, and that is a safety car brought out on lap 6. Didn't catch what happened there. I think he was by himself, so a chance car was involved. There we go, briefly saw his car there. Like a collision with the right wall, possibly hit the left, bounced off the right. Now it's this driver's time to decide what they're going to do tyre wise. There's a lot of laps to take one tyre to the end, especially if anyone's trying to do a hard medium. A lot of the hard runners might stick it out, the two up front might change onto the medium tyre here. We'll see. AJ coming off the back of the podium last week. Actually, as is Strange. Both Strange and Jacob getting podium. Jacob P2, Strange P3. That was Tope, currently in P4, who got the win last week. So, does Strange pit? And the answer is yes. Yes, he does. How about AJ? Yes, and actually interesting, as do a lot of the hard runners. Guess they're all now looking at this as a 2-stop. Greaves, on the other hand, though, is not. Neither is Tango. Greaves needs to try something a little bit funny to take account for his 3-second penalties from track limits, which he got after just a few laps. So I wonder if the way he's driving risks him getting even more. So here we go, caught the safety car queue now. The guys who are pitting, Strange and AJ, as expected, onto the hards. Most of the rest of them going on to the mediums. Some further back onto the hards as well. So, there was a reckon of rain 15 minutes in. Now, that does not seem to be the case so far. Not Jack said that. Ah, hang on, isn't Not Jack in tier 3? I've only just twigged that. So I don't think we will be getting rain. The sky is still clear as ever. And the driver is strategizing as if there is no rain to come. My mistake for not picking up on that beforehand. There's even the safety car there clattering over the curbs. Going nice and slowly. Driver's catching up. Legend going to be the last man to catch up. Actually put on his old hard tyres. Did his hard tyres, replace his front wing, went onto mediums, has now gone back onto his hard tyres. Just a few laps younger than everyone else. So I suspect they will go racing again come lap 8. Leaving 21 laps of racing to follow. How's that happened? Pan into the pits. Interesting choice there. Perhaps avoiding the double stack earlier. But I think overall that's going to cost him more track position. Odd decision, but going on to the mediums. And actually behind Delano, also pitting. So let's see, yeah, coming out on track, P14. Back onto his hard tyres from earlier. Still should easily catch up with the safety car queue in time for it to release all the cars on this lap. 21 laps of racing will happen afterwards. At the moment, we've got Strange and Jacob in a very good position, potentially not needing to pit the entire rest of the race on those hard tyres. Top four obviously yet to have stops at all. They will need to pit somewhere down the line, and the rest of them on guys on mediums, they're an interesting one, not quite able to stretch it. They might do a medium soft for the rest of it, maybe a medium during the rest of this race, having done their hard stint and now have free tyre choice. Apart from the top four, everyone will now have free tyre choice for the rest of the race. No need to worry about meeting the 2 compound strategy requirement. So I'd expect the safety car in this lap to be any second now. There we go. Safety car in this lap. So up to Greaves to control the pack to hold them up a bit. Choose his moment. Is he going to go before the hairpin? Is he going to go after the hairpin? Is he going to go as he's going through the hairpin? I think his best point is going to be just after, once he's exited the low traction zone, but Tango is still there. We'll see where he chooses to go though. What's his play going to be? When's he going to go for the jump, and how quickly are the guys behind on fresh tyres going to work their way through the top four? Yeah, but Greaves has gone when I thought he might. Actually hasn't gained a massive amount, but still enough space on track to really make it worth it. And already Strange on his fresh tyres looking to close that gap down to Knowlesy. Knowles, you can see how much less traction you have on those tyres. Already pulling alongside, burning his overtake. I don't even think he meant to go for that move, but up into P4 for the Red Bull. Our net leader showing why he's the championship leader. And AJ following through. Knowlesy being eaten up by the guys who've just pit. Jet will be the next man to get past him. No DRS just yet, but doesn't mean can't get a little bit of slipstream, have a fast exit. Strange is up into P3. Jet is going to try and outbrake him. Let's see if it works. Contact Jet into the back of Jacob. That is Jacob down to P10, 11, 12. Right to the back of the order. Safety car restart. The worst time to have a collision is further up. Strange is up into P2. That's a shame for him, not at all his fault there. I'm sure the stewards will be having a review of that one. Here we go, now Strange on the back. He took his pit stop. Is he going to go for the move? He is up the inside. I think Greaves is not worth fighting this one too much. He's not in the same race as Greaves. Greaves in the end does let it happen. Goes further down. Jacob, though, a shame for him. He's looking so promising, potentially in the same position as Strange, but now right way down to P15. Farrell wheel to wheel with the Alpine of Pan. Pan showed some aggressive racing tonight. Who's going to get it here? Going through this corner in the end. Farrell backing out, does not want to lose the front wing. Ooh. The curb though, splitting him out, and Carl thinking yes please and thank you, pulling alongside. He's trying to take advantage. Not going to happen in the end as he got more traction on the exit. It's not seemed to be the case. Just further up Strange is pulling away from Greaves. It's Jet getting past James. These fresh mediums just miles and miles quicker. So this group a mix of tyres. The guys in the fresh mediums are just going to simply be much faster at the moment. Still going to be just about in their prime. Here we go, Jet on the back of his teammates. And behind actually an overtake being done. Taupe going past James as Jet gets past Tango. Side by side further down, the Mercedes almost getting in the way of this hit. In the end it is the Alfa Romeo that comes out on top. There's Nolsey falling down a little bit. I think he had bad traction, losing ground to the two behind, and Alpine and Aston Martin looking hungry. Pan to the inside. Farrell, is he going to try it as well? In the end, no, it is only the the Alpine actually a little bit of contact there. Loses some traction, and again some very hard defending going on. Some swapping positions further up the order. The side-by-side battle still continuing on. Pan dropping down to P12. Oh, and look at that. What a beautiful cutback by him. Carl actually going wide. I don't know if from shock or just a mistake on his part, but very nice overtake by the Alpine there. Gonna be happy with that one. Gonna have a smile on his face and a confidence boost after he's pulled that off. Further up, Hobbsy and James. Hobbsy to the inside, and that is a yellow flag. That is for... who is that for? Not a clue. Yellow flag is now back in. I think it might have been for Jet temporarily. I'm not sure. All the cars coming around that corner there. Look at that. What a camera angle. So flying down straight here. Taupe going to be challenging for P2. Taupe is up into P2. But he's got 5.5 seconds to bridge to Strange. Even with the tyre compound advantage over the course of the race, that might come to be a disadvantage based on the duration those mediums will last him. Here we go, Kryko up the inside into turn 1, and someone's gone very deep there. I think there might have been Jacob retiring in the pit lane. He's going to be so disappointed after what happened to him. His race had so much potential, only to be taken out by another driver. Hobbsy on the back of Tango here, looking to the inside. Fresher tyres and more traction because of it now. Pan behind on the mediums, also fresh tyres. I think he'll be going for the move soon. He'll have DRS hit to aid him, although Tango himself is looking for a move up ahead. Perhaps won't get on the move. Perhaps might go for the move on Hobbsy instead of on Tango. And here we go, looking to the inside, looking to the outside. In the end, not quite braking in time. Is he going to make it work? He's really trying to stick it in there. Perhaps picking up a warning for crossing the white line there. In the end, Hobbsy, small moment, and Pan has got the move done. Some very nice overtakes from this driver tonight. Perhaps a little bit too much aggression in some places, but another time simple brilliance displayed on the track is further up. Taupe and Kryko both on the same strategy now, and they are swapping positions for P2. It'll be interesting to see if they're working together to try and close down that gap to Strange up front, or if they are working against each other for that P2, accepting that for the moment they are not going to catch up, as James is off into the wall. I see no front wing damage, certainly not on front right. No, it does appear to be okay, but either way, a massive off by him. So, to people just joining us, we had a safety car earlier on in the race, came in at the end of lap 8. A few different strategies in play. We've got 4 drivers who are yet to change their tyres. All have been tumbling down the order. Strange, his medium hard for the moment, got him top of the order. That's an overtake here for P5. So Kryko and Taupe, the 2 relentless drivers, are closing down on Strange. So Legend nearly into the back of Dylan there, missing his braking point. Yeah, dropping off the back of him because of it. Ahead, Tango struggling on his on-hard tyres. Hobbsy right on the back of him, almost catching him too early. A little bit of impatience there, not giving him quite the run he could have had if he'd waited during the middle of that ERS DRS, but it's not going to be enough. It's ahead. Tango using that straight line speed. Again, two relentless drivers swapping. They do seem to be gaining second half a second a lap on Strange. So Hobbsy on the back. Ferrari and Mercedes. Is he going to go for it? And no, nothing for the moment. But you can see how much difference there is in traction between these two tyres. The longer it goes on, the less that's going to be. Tango for the moment quite happy to just hold on as long as he can. And the yellow flag further down, James having problems. Wrong one. There we go, Kryko back past Taupe. These two swapping and changing every main straight, it seems, at the moment. Both Sector 2 and Sector 3 long straights seem to be changing. Kryko actually seems to have a bit more confidence. Yeah, you can see gaining time through those corners. Don't think Taupe will want to fall off the back of him. He's going to have the DRS here still, nonetheless, 8/10 back. I think at the moment Kryko in the better position certainly seemed to have a lot more pace after his pole position in qualifying. Yeah, not enough to close down. Perhaps this might be Kryko then starting to pull away from the P2 Championship man of Taupe. Greaves is into the pit lane here. As was that short behind, yeah, as is Nolsey. Both of these guys on their older hard tyres. Tango for the moment not choosing to pit just yet. So those boys are going to have 15 laps to do on their mediums. Here we go, P6, Tango Hobbsy, and actually Farrell and Carl not too far adrift either. DRS shouldn't make this too tricky, and overtake, especially with Tango's tyres, to add to the equation. DRS opened up, and here we go, down towards the braking zone, looking to go for the outside for P6. Can Hobbsy make it work? Tango not going to give it up easily. I think if someone holds it around the outside of that first one, the inside on the next one, so powerful. And this Tango up into P6. So Hobbsy up into P6. As King Panda giving a bit of support to Haas. Kryko, man on pole, the only man representing Haas here at the moment. Is Tango actually coming back on Hobbsy? That was not the overtake I was expecting to see. Tango, despite his odd tyres, not just giving up easily. Though further down, Carl's having a little bit of struggle at the exit of the hairpin on his hard tyres. Him dropping down to P11. Tango in the end, yeah, does lose the position to Hobbsy into turn 1. Some very valiant fighting given his tyres. Kryko struggling to close that gap down to Strange. Is changing between 4.5 and 5.5 seconds, but remaining in that gap nonetheless. Kryko not able to put away from Taupe. But certainly the faster of the two drivers have proved that was the case in qualifying with his phenomenal time. Here we go. Pan to the inside, Jet to the outside and actually flying through. There goes Pan. Let's see what Jet can do through this more technical section, the end of Sector 2. You stick it behind, you get a good exit to this section and down that DRS Sector 3 straight. Got a fairly clean cut overtake if you've got the ERS. ERS is in the favour of Pan at the moment. Of course, DRS quickly fades away. So, how far back? Half a second back, perhaps too much. And hang on, what's this side by side here? No, Farrell just ahead of Tango. Tango on the outside, his tyres. No, actually, sorry. There was Tango with the DRS, Farrell without it. And despite his tyres, he is truly fighting everyone. But no, into the pits. Farrell perhaps a little bit annoyed that Tango fought him, only to immediately pull into the pits. And actually himself now is dropped off the back of Hobbsy. Hobbs will be happy that that's happened. Less of a threat from behind, just clean air. Setting good laps on his tyres. It's a little bit deep runs. Farrell, the last of the drivers yet to pit in. Actually, having said that, no, James is yet to pit. Never mind, he's just pulled into the pits. Okay, so yeah, and got a speed in the pit lane. Is this going to be a retirement on his CRL debut, or is he just miscalculated it? I do see some tyres there. What is he going on to? He's going on to a set of mediums, what you'd expect at this stage of the race, and he is continuing to go out on track here. You'll be hoping for a safety car now at this point. 13 laps left for him to work with. These two still very close, but Tango on his fresh tyres already challenging Greaves. And Tango on fresh tyres, having seen how good he was on the old hard tyres, is not a man that I'd find myself challenging too easily. Look at the difference there, just simply better. No other way to put it. Flying through these corners, Greaves non-optimal line by quite a bit, losing a lot of time, but look at the gap Tango has pulled just with that one bit. DRS not going to be awarded to Greaves after struggling to make that sector work for him. And that is good news for Tango, gives him a chance to hunt down drivers ahead. So the only DRS on track at the moment are these two drivers. Hope unable to close the gap down enough on Kryko to go for the move. But of course tyre wear may be in his favour. So here we go, 6/10. How much can he close it down here? Not enough to go for the move, but enough to bring it in closer. Gap down from 6/10 to 3/10. He has a good section here, and he could be going for the move down that longer back straight. The DRS is in the favour of Kryko, does certainly seem to be under more control, and of course proved in quali his pace. Gonna have that intimidation on his side, and he's now starting to close that gap down to Strange a little bit more, down to 4.1 seconds now. Coming down slowly, but still shortening nonetheless. No need to defend here. So here we go, gap now down to less than 4 seconds. You can see Strange ahead. Knows he's closing in on him. Part of me wonders, is Kryko going to try and help his relentless teammate go for the championship? Or is he going to himself just take the best result he can get? It's been a while since he's had a good result. I think he had a win earlier on in the season. Certainly remember a very strong performance from him in pre-season testing. So yeah, that gap's still staying pretty open. Makes you wonder if Kryko has some more straight line setup, but then you see him be faster through the corners and just seems to be stronger everywhere apart from where Taupe has the DRS. Both of them though very effective over these curbs. But as I say, that Taupe going a little bit deep and dropping a couple of tenths there. Carl, the other man to keep an eye on, been closing that gap down to Dylan gradually. Seems to be more comfortable through this section. I think there's a decent chance we'll see a move here. The dirty air not as effective through that section because it's just so slow. So here we go, gap 3.5 tenths come the start of the DRS zone. Is this enough for him to go for this end? He's not even burning in the overtakes. Such is the confidence of this man. Carl through up the inside, up into P8. Looking for the cutback, not going to happen. A little wobble there. It's Tango going for the move on Knowlesy. Both of them on fresh tyres, but Tango on fresher tyres and on a charge. Going to have the outside line into turn 1. But I haven't seen what I've seen earlier. No doubt that, yeah, Tango going to come out on top here. As Nolsey relegated to P11. Points for the top 12, so we're still in the points. Delano still more or less on the back. I think struggling a little bit more. I think we're going to see this gap extend between him and Carl. And same with the gap between Tango and Hobbsy. This gap, however, has closed up. Again, Tope just seems more hesitant to use that curb, that right-hand corner. Always sees him dropping back a little bit. Jet picking up 3 seconds in penalties. That is important. Given how far up the order he is, that could potentially affect podium places later on. Now, unsure if drivers will be trying to extend their tyre life to the end if they're hoping for a safety car or what the plan is. But these medium runners, 2nd through 5th, they're going to be hurting by the end of the race. Makes you wonder where Tango is going to end up on his fresh tyres. The lead of the 2-stop drivers. Oh no, he's on the 1-stop, never mind. The lead man, he decided to extend his first stint an awful lot. Delano actually did do a 2-stop, but he briefly changed onto a mediums and then changed back onto his original hards. See that gap behind, see a glimpse of the Red Bull ahead. Here and there. Similar with the charge of Tango. Who has got fastest lap at the moment? It is Greaves down in P12 as a retirement for James in the pit lane. Unhappy with how his race is going outside the points. DRS again for Tope. Again, he is just too far back. He's not good enough at the end of that second sector. But that gap between Koraiko and Strange is still closing 2.5 seconds. Now, it was 5.5 earlier. More and more Strange will feel threatened by the 2 cars behind him. Although as the tyre life goes on, it's surprising to see the mediums are still the faster tyre. Wonder how much longer that is going to be the case. At what point their tyre is going to be screaming and nearly looking at a puncture. Further down the order, actually battle for P10 going on. Greaves also retiring in the pit lane. As Tango getting past Dillon. We missed Tango claim his next victim. Such was the closing rate when she got them. Now actually, Delano also going to be under threat from Nolsey behind. Tango will be without DRS, but his tyres just going to be better here. So here we go, Nolsey closing it down. All finishing drivers will collect points out of Greaves' retirement. Now 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths, right onto the back of that Red Bull. Almost going too deep there. You can see just sticking to the back of him. And just needs a good exit out this next left-hander. Tango's got him out of DRS, and actually almost, yeah, again, some of these drivers pushing too early. Need to give himself a bit more of a run up to get a fast exit speed. I mean, Knowles is going to make it work nonetheless. Delano, no DRS from in front. A Ferrari getting past the Red Bull. As a Ferrari fan, that is what I like to see. Nolsey up into P10. And look, up ahead, Koraiko has managed to ditch Tope. Tope no longer in that DRS. Gap 2.3, small moment for Farrell ahead. Nothing too big though. So is he going to close down, or is Tango behind the worry? Tango within DRS range, ready to strike again on his fresh tyres. Not going to get it at this one, but he's going to close that gap down an awful lot and going to be threatening them into the back straight. Here we go. Carl considering a move on Farrell, not going for it in the end. Farrell compromising his entrance, I think, a little bit. Both of them losing time to the man behind. So Carl in a sandwich. I think Carl's slightly faster than Farrell, but neither are going to have the pace of Tango. So who's going to go for moves here? Who's going to make it work? Carl burning all of his overtake right the way down to 0% now. Looking for a move on the outside. What's Tango going to do? Not much he can do here. Almost not enough space. Looking for the cutback. Not going to happen. Carl, a very nice move on him as Pan ahead hits onto the softs. We'll see where he comes out on track. Again, going deep. Does Farrell contact? And oh, Carl has spun him. Nearly caught Tango as Tango came through. That's Farrell down to P12. Pan, who is going to be utterly flying hit in P10 on those softs. We'll have to keep an eye on the progress of that Alpine car. Tango going to struggle to close that gap down to Hobbsy. Yeah, there we go. Mistakes being made. So the gap between the top two now down to just 2 seconds. Tope dropped a lot of time to Kryko though, 2.5 seconds there. It's fresh, soft tyres, simply unmatchable by 90 lap old hard tyres. And yeah, look at the difference in traction. When you've got 6 laps on soft tyres in a dream, you are going to be passing cars left, right and centre. It's Nolsey on his fairly fresh mediums, well 9 lap olds behind Carl, will have the pace advantage in terms of tyres. Disadvantage though is the fact Carl for the moment has DRS from Tango ahead. But both of them behind. Oh, that is the wrong button. Behind, they have to worry about Pan coming through. So here we go. Nalsey not near enough this time around. And I think next DRS range we are going to see Pan come within DRS range. Oh, easily. Gaining tenths upon tenths here. Look at the difference. The way he's taking the corners, almost taking the risks he would in qualifying. Really using the curves, and my goodness, look at that move. Another brilliant overtake by Pan this race. It's Kryko picking up 3 seconds of time penalties. And that is critical, because that will depend on whether or not he gets second or third here. Pan, there we go, going for another move on Carl, and he is through up into P7. And actually soon we're getting past Tango. Tango's tyres now not at the prime they once were. What is these guys' gap to the lead at just over 20 seconds? Shouldn't be enough to challenge for podium. Could be looking at P5 here for the Alpine. And there we go, through. Ahead is behind. You can see Carl and Nolsey. This one slightly more likely to be challenged. In the end, these old tyres, not much more they can do. There we go, fastest lap, 29.3. Can't remember what pole was, but that is not a massive difference. What is it, 26.8? Something like that. Within 3 seconds of pole, nonetheless. Not something you often see. Is actually, oh, mistake there by Pan, going in a little bit too hard, realising and choosing not to push it on the curbs. Some smart driving actually. Realising his mistake before he can make it worse and choosing to play on the safer side of things. Now DRS from Hobbsy. Alpine on old hard tyres, sorry, Ferrari on old hard tyres versus Alpine on fresh soft tyres, and look at that closing speed. Not much ERS left in that car, but Yep, through up into P5. Seems that extra pit stop completely worth it. I can't remember what position that kart was beforehand, but with Jet's 3-second time penalty, this could be a P4. Strange continuously pulling away from Kryko. Now those medium tyres do seem to be at a disadvantage. This is looking very good news for Strange. Taupe is within those 3 seconds, but it's so close as to whether or not Taupe is going to be P2 or 3. I suspect in the end he will be, because they'll just want it that much more. Delano pitting behind, deciding, is this change onto soft tyres? Yeah, 2 points isn't worth it when you can have a go at fastest lap. It's Farrell, look at that, skating round the first corner. Carl still on the tail of Nolsey. Surprisingly so, actually, given his tyres. Doing a good job here. I'd like to get back through, but he can hang on the back, hope for a mistake, hope for some penalties up ahead. Most likely on track overtake to see his pan on Jet. His Jet going a little bit wide there. So 3 or less, 2.5 laps remaining. Strange still the leader. That gap getting bigger and bigger every lap. Here we go. Yeah, through in no time at all. DRS to aid once the pass has been complete. How about behind Tango on Hobbsy? Is through. Mercedes 5.6, Ferrari 7.8 now. And Hobbsy pushing him around the corner. His tyres, despite being the same age as Farrell's, looking a whole lot healthier. A few smaller battles going on throughout the field. One Ferrari attacking, the other defending. Yeah, Taupe continuing to close down on Kryko. Kryko here just not quite having the same pace that he had earlier. Perhaps tyre wear. See how he does. He was stronger at this section before. Still going alright over the curb. There we go. Actually, yeah, did gain time on that bit, so not entirely sure why he was losing so much time before. It's Nolsey down in P8, picking up 3 seconds of time penalty. Does seem to be a little bit of time gained on straight, not entirely sure on that one. Kryko is starting to pull away. I don't know about that one, but here we go. Strange starting the final lap. He's got 6 seconds gap. The guy behind him has a penalty. I mean, this is all Strange's game now. He can go as slow as he likes, and this should still be his win come the end of it. So Tango on Jet. Are the two Mercedes going to swap on that final lap? Front one struggling, the one behind trying to line up a position. And look at that traction difference. Going around the outside to make it the inside, and through goes Tango into P5. Jet, of course, with this penalty, not going to fight it all that hard. Kryko here going miles faster, gained a lot of time since last lap. I wonder if it was a mistake before that closed that gap down, but certainly performing significantly better now. What is this? Murphy looking for a move on Jet. Murphy was not a man I expected to be. Sorry, Hobbsy. I don't know why I said Murphy. I don't think Murphy's ever been in tier 2, but Hobbsy looking for a move, and that's a little bit of contact with Jet here. The other Ferrari behind him, Nolsey, looking to gain something from this. Side by side, wheels banging here. Now we might have to leave this battle. as Tope, I think Tope has made a mistake as Pan is up into P3, but I've got to hop on board with Strange as Strange comes towards the line to win the Miami Grand Prix. Very, very nicely done. Kryko from pole, he's going to maintain that P2 in the end after a mistake from Tope. I assume it was a mistake and not contact with Pan. Pan coming across the line, P3 with that strategy. Very nicely played. Nice charge to the field at the end. Tope, is he out of fuel? What's this? Not sure why he wasn't full on, but Tango in the end getting 5th. And oh my goodness, look at that clutter, that battle we missed at the end. In the end, what was that? Carl Hobbsy Nolsey, look how close this Ferraris are. I mean, almost like they're deliberately doing it in formation. But then Jet Legend, Farrell and Delano to finish it out. And possibly fastest lap? No, I don't think it was fastest lap. But there we go. That ends the Miami Grand Prix. That is another victory for Strange. And that is further extension of his championship lead. Tope, P5. Now let's see what the drivers are saying. A lot of them not a massive fan of this track, so hopefully soon the game going to show us the finishing order there. Here we go, Strange in that top podium position. And back, a 3rd win for the German. Is he German? I think he's German. Yeah, actually the German flag from earlier. Excuse my lack of retention, but there we go. 30 points for our championship leader, Tope. Way down in P5, only 14 points for him. That brings the gap up to 18 points. Sorry. Yeah, up to 18 points between the top 2 drivers. Pan in the end getting the fastest lap. So rundown of the order. Strange getting the win over Kryko, our pole sitter. Pan 3rd with that 2-stop strategy working beautifully for him. Tango 4th. Tope very slow at the end. Unusually not entirely sure what the cause of that was. Then Carl P6, 7, 8 were the Ferraris. Penalty in that group. Jet P9. Then behind Legend P10. Farrell and Delano, the last finishers here. Greaves, James, AJ and Mookie not finishing. And again, the Irish not having the best race here in Tier 2. So let me quickly ask the drivers if they want in a post-race interview. So Strange, Kryko and Pan. There we go. Had a few very impressive overtakes there. Pan, especially the safety car restart, not causing excessive amounts of chaos, but nothing either. See what the drivers are put in for driver of the day. Who's been put down? Strange putting down Pan. I think I'd agree with that one, honestly. The report section, nothing in there just yet. I'm sure that will change. A few drivers going to be unhappy with what happened to their races. Right, so Pan unable to come for the interview. Not sure about Strange and heard nothing from Kryko, who I think usually doesn't do interviews. So I think we are going to be without an interview, such a quick rundown of the race. So Kryko in the end not able to convert the win despite being the fastest on pace. Had the struggle of the tyre strategy being against him. The medium hard just worked better with when the safety car came than the hard. Medium held on to the end, especially his battle with Tope. Pan with his 2-stop flying through the order at the end on the softs and getting the 1 bonus point for fastest lap within the top 10. coming from P13 on the grid as well, so I think Greek going to be happy with that race. Then who else? Taupe, unusual end to the race. Really not sure what happened. First I thought it might have been low on fuel, but in the end I saw his throttle input not full. It's strange, that one. I wonder if that was a problem with his pedal or not. But as I mentioned earlier, championship lead between Taupe and Strange, opening up to 18 points. And next week we move on to where are we racing next week? 5 rounds to go after this one, 10 down, 5 to go. And if my Chromebook will load, I can tell you where we're racing. Bear with me a second. Trying to remember what track it is. Pulling a blank. Please load. Right, there we go. We are racing at Imola next week with... Oh no, 2 rounds to go. I've got it was a 12-round season, so with 2 rounds to go, it's an 18-point gap between the front 2 runners. Right, Strange saying second overall win. Does he mean on track? Because I thought he had 2 wins in Tier 2. But either way, I am going to end the stream here. So come back next week to watch again. I've already forgotten what the track was as I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, Imola. So, very famous historical track. The last 2 rounds, Imola, and then Interlagos to finish us off. But for me, that is goodbye until next week.